Hi there and welcome to the channel. You catch me here this evening down on a local lake and my target is carp. I was down here earlier on in the day with my three kids and we were just trying to catch some kind of perch and roach down the edge. We didn't have much success, but we spoke to a carp fisherman who'd been here all night, and yesterday evening he's been catching carp off the top with floating bread, which is one of my favourite ways of catching fish and certainly catching carp. So I've gone down my local Waitrose, got myself some bread. Dead simple setup. I've just got my barbel 1 3/4 pound rod, 12-pound line, straight through, size 6 hook, and I've actually got a pellet waggler float on there. I don't know if you can see that. That's a 6 gram pellet waggler, just to give me a bit of casting weight. And the plan this evening is really simple. It's to stalk the fish out. Okay, so I'm going to work my way around, keep my eye on the surface, see if I can spot some fish, and if I can, then I'll start feeding a little bit of bread over the top, try and get them feeding confidently, and then try and cast to them if I can see them. So that's the plan. I've got binoculars with me if I need them. I'm on the slightly kind of windier end. There's a kind of, it's more sheltered over the far side. I get the feeling the fish will be over that side. So I'll fish here for a little bit and I'll work my way around, hoping to spot some fish. Weather-wise, it's a warm evening. It's the 6th of May. I mean, as you can see, I'm in a shirt and it's like 7 o'clock in the evening. So it's a lovely kind of early summer's evening. There's lots of swallows flying around. I can just see one right now. Some house martins too. There's been a cuckoo calling really close at the back here with some Chetty's warblers. So spring is springing, it's wonderful. But anyway, that's enough of the waffle. Let's get fishing and see if we can't catch ourselves a carp. Right, first cast. Haven't seen any fish showing up at this end. I've seen 1 or 2 down the far side, but I'm just going to cast this out anyway. Very careful of these trees. There we go. Okay, we're fishing. That pellet waggler actually shows up really nicely, so I can just put that down there and step back and just keep an eye on it. That's a lovely lake, Princess Lake. I haven't fished it many times. I fished it about a month ago with my son. We came down pike fishing together and we had 4 bites in an hour. It was really quite prolific and caught one of about 8 pounds. There's clearly some predators in here. I've seen people spinning and using kind of lures as well, catching predators in here, but most people come down for the carp. There are tension bream as well, but carp are the main target, and they've actually, the club that run this have done a good job. They kind of put some lovely platforms in, but they've also kind of circled the lake with an otter-proof fence as well. I think there's been stories of otters have been in here and eaten quite a lot of carp, so they've kind of made it kind of otter-proof, I guess, as best they can, and been restocking the kind of the fish back into the lake. So we'll see what an impact that has. But it's just nice to be down here. It's quite an old lake. I think it's, well, we thought call it Duchess Lake. We're near the little village of Barnwell, and there is the Duchess used to live up the road back in years gone by, so I think it's probably named after her. It's probably part of the old Barnwell estate. I suspect there's some big perch in here too. I don't know really much about the perch, but I've caught quite a few kind of small ones, in the winter on worm, just playing around with the kids. And it's very clear, sort of gin clear water, so I don't know, I just sort of suspect there might be some quite nice perch in here. It might be worth coming back in the kind of autumn time with some big lob worms or some drop shot lures and see if we can't catch a decent one. I don't know if you're picking that up on the mic or not, but there's a green woodpecker just sat in the top of that poplar tree over there. Their call's very distinctive. They're often known as the yaffle bird. And it's like they're sort of laughing at you, almost like. The distant cuckoo there as well, but you won't hear that. It's way over the back. It was much closer earlier on. It's still early evening. It's not quite 7 o'clock yet, so the carp have got plenty of time to kind of, for the lake just to calm down and to come up to the top and start cruising around on the surface. It's warm. It feels like kind of storm clouds are building. I'm hopeful I'll miss a downpour, but you never know. but I feel as the kind of the evening kind of draws closer, the carp tend to kind of get more active on the surface, and that's really what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the kind of swirls, the splashes, the backs out of the water, any signs of fish moving, and when I spot them and see them, then I'll move around and try and target them. Well, nothing doing here at the moment. I know it's early days, but I do think I'm going to go around and fish the water on the right here that's in the lee of the wind, the kind of still water, which is where all the kind of flotsam and jetsam kind of floated across to there. So I just get the feeling if the fish are going to be anywhere, it's going to be over in the bays over there. So let's wind in and we'll shift across. There's a lot of weed in this lake, I think, because it's so clear. So it'd be lovely tench water. Right, we're down the other end now. So this is the bay, really, where you can see the reed bed on the far side there. You know, the wind's been blowing into this all day. There's a lot of like willow kind of seed heads kind of on the top of the surface here. I can hear that. That's a swallow alarm calling. When they alarm call, it's always worth looking to see where they're flying towards, because birds like that, they fly towards a bird of prey or a predator, so something like a sparrowhawk would be likely for them. If you hear multiple birds all alarm calling like that, just look and see where they're going, so they like to keep it in sight. That's the idea. Rather than fly away from it, they fly towards it, so you can get a good view of it, and it can't kind of hit them by surprise. Right, what I was saying, yeah, the wind's been blowing into this side of the lake all day, so it's much stiller over here. So I just get a sense if there's going to be any fish around on top, this will be our best bet at the moment until we see any kind of movement on the surface. So let's get the bait out. There's some grebes out here, great crested grebes there. They're after fish as well. Right, there we go. Right. Sit back and relax, I think. I just saw a lovely carp top there out in the middle. I thought I heard one crash 30 seconds ago, so I was kind of looking over that way and I just saw it kind of come right out and top went down again. So I'll keep my eyes open. See multiple fish in the same spot surfacing, that's probably the place to go. Kingfisher, they're flying across the far side. Beautiful. You hear them more than you see them, kingfishers, so yeah, I could hear the kind of high-pitched trill and then off it goes, shots across the far side there. Be a nice place to feed for them, nice clear water, plenty of small fish. They are breeding locally as well, so yeah, they're probably on eggs right now, the female, so that might be the male catching the fish. And there's the green woodpecker again. Yep, 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 yep. I wonder if they're up in that tree actually. There's a kind of tall, I think it's a poplar. Yeah. And they will excavate a nest, and it's a sort of tree they would look to kind of drill into. So yeah, there's a guy on the far side there also looking for carp, just like me. Maybe when we walk around, I'll have a little look and see if there's any holes in there for green woodpeckers. I don't know if the mic's picking that up. Ooh. There's a male cuckoo calling over there. Recently arrived back from migration. They go down to West Africa in our northern hemisphere winter to escape the kind of cold weather and go and find some more food down there. They've just arrived back and they're quite there's a kingfisher calling. Sounds like it's gone. They're an incredible bird, the cuckoo. You know, so they arrive back, and at this point the males are trying to attract the females to mate, and then the females, once she's become fertilised, will then go and look for a nest to lay her eggs in. And they'll lay in things like reed bunting's nest, reed warbler nests, dunnock nests, a whole range of different species that they lay into. And as they lay their eggs, they have to time it just perfectly, so the female dunnock or reed warbler, whatever they're laying into, the host species, has just laid a full clutch of eggs. Once they leave the nest, the female cuckoo will then arrive, lay her egg into that clutch, and the egg will mimic the egg pattern of the host species. So if they're laying into, I don't know, reed bunting, whatever colour reed bunting egg is, the cuckoo will also lay the same egg colour as that. Now I don't know if they consciously somehow create the right egg colour, or whether different cuckoos target different species, you know, if you like. So, you know, some species might be a reed bunting cuckoo laying species, and others might be, you know, a reed warbler laying species. I'm not sure. But either way, it needs to mimic really closely what it's looking at. So when the female comes back, the female reed bunting, for instance, she doesn't notice that there's a different egg in the nest. Despite it being much bigger, the patterning is good enough that she accepts it, and she then incubates it. The cuckoo then has nothing more to do with the lifetime of that egg and the chick and the adult that it becomes. You know, the host species, the reed bunting, you know, brings up the chick as if it's its own. And the first thing that does, actually, the cuckoo chick actually hatches out earlier than the host species chicks. So it hatches out, it then gets the other eggs on its back and pushes them out the nest to be the only thing left in the nest that the host species then feed upon. So they're real parasites, the cuckoos. And I think probably what I find most remarkable about them is, you know, once the adult cuckoos have done their breeding and their egg laying, they then go back to Africa. Okay, so leaving the host species to bring up those chicks, and at a certain point, when the young cuckoos fledge the nests, leave their kind of host species behind, they know to fly to Africa. There's no adults to show them. It's purely genetic. It's kind of built into their DNA code to know where to go and what to do. I mean, I find it absolutely incredible. They're learning nothing from the adults because the adults have left long ago. Amazing species. Well, there's not much doing here. I've given it 20 minutes. I've seen one or two fish over on the far side, far in the lake in the middle, boshing on the top. So maybe they're over there. That's where the guy was catching them last night. So maybe they haven't moved. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep moving. 7 o'clock, I've got till 8:30, 9 o'clock before it gets dark, so 2 hours. I think I need to do at least a full circuit of the lake and have a look. Now, what's that? There's that fish there. Just seen a big ripple on the top there. And so there's great crested grebes and coots in the lake, so I'm just checking it's not a duck that's about to kind of resurface. Fairly sure that was a carp. Okay, which would be castable actually from the far side there, so yeah. Either way, I'm definitely going to move, I think. Just keep going, keep trying to find these fish. Well, I think I'm in. I am in. Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Well, I just saw a swirl. I hadn't seen any fish here whatsoever. Let's tighten my drag up. Oh. And I saw the line tightening, and it's grating through these lilies. But obviously a fish just came up and took a liking to that bread. Fantastic. You just never know, like, if the fish are there cruising around. Oh, it's coming in with a load of weed on it. It doesn't feel like it's a big one. Don't get snagged up. Oh, there's so much weed down there, these lilies and all their roots. I've got quite heavy liners. I think I can bully it a little bit. Oh, honestly, there's absolutely no fish showing whatsoever. And I just looked away and I looked back and there was a big ripple and I couldn't see my float and the line was tightening, so amazing. It's putting in a good appearance for itself. Come on. Oh, I can feel it grating against lily roots. Come on. It's only going to be one thing if it took bread off the top. Oh, it's so much fun, this style of fishing. It really is. Well, I took a bet that the fish would be down this end and it's paid off. Just got to get it in now. I haven't seen it yet. Oh, it's all back. Yeah. Try and get a bit of line on it. Keep it in the open. That's it. Oh. Right, got the net behind me. Just going to walk back, I think, with it. It's actually quite clear down here, so it's in the open now. Oh, it's a nice fish. Not enormous, but yeah, what a fight. Come on, no, don't go down there. I need to get my net ready. There it is. Oh, it's sort of gaining line on me there. I don't want you to do that. Really don't. Come on, keep moving, keep moving. I don't want it to stop. That's it, come up, come up, come up. Oh, I'm really giving it a bit of welly. There's so many snags. 101 ways to lose this fish here. Come on. I reckon it's... Well, it's just snagged me at the moment. No. Moving, yes. Thought I lost it then. Right, I'm not going to mess around with this. Alright, it's close to doubles. I'd say it's close to doubles that, if not low doubles. Come on, come on. Oh, my arm's aching. Pulling my arm off, come on. Come on. Come on. That's it, loose again, come on. That's it, head up. Keep its head up. Go on, go on. We got him. Just almost. Back's not quite in. Yes. Oh, what a scrap. Oh, a lovely fish. God, I mean, it's not enormous, but it's a beautiful fish. Deep bodied, solid, and putting such a good appearance for itself. Can you see that? There we go. I'm going to let it just rest up for a little bit before we unhook it and get a good look at it. Oh, fantastic. Right, I'm going to give it away before we have a little look. Now I've zeroed the bag. Let's see what we've got. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, £11.6. Fantastic. Well, I wasn't expecting that. I saw no fish on the surface whatsoever, apart from down the far end, nothing down this end. I looked away, and when I looked back I saw a ripple exactly where my bread was, and there was no bread left. The line was tightening off, so this fish was on the end. Okay, yeah, still a bit lively. That's the best side, isn't it, for showing? There you go. Okay. Oh, well, there you go, guys. What was that, £11.6 of beautiful common carp taken off the top in very early summer. You know, so it's May the 6th. Bit of bread, controller float, and a net, and that's all you need. You know, for some wonderful sport like this. They're just cruising around below the surface. So obviously, it saw the bread, sucked it in, off it went, and I saw my line tightening up, and bang. And what a fight in the edge here as well with all these lily pads. I mean, it tried to get me snagged a number of times. I thought I'd lost it actually, but lovely to get it back and to get it in. How amazing. Well, I've not really fished this lake like this before, so I've got a whole summer ahead of me, and maybe I can get a few more of these this summer. Fantastic. Right, we'll let it go. It's lovely and clear here, so we'll get the GoPro under the water and see if you can't see it being released. Here we go. Off you go. Oh. What a result. What a result. Right, well, after that fantastic fish, I'm ready to cast out again, and I've just seen another little kind of ripple, a bow wave just on the right hand side here, so maybe there are a few fish here just under the surface. We can't see them, but they're down on this end where all the detritus has been blown across. So yeah, definitely worth having another go. Just a reminder, it's dead simple tactics here, guys. So I've got it's a pellet waggler float. That's I think it's 6.5 grand. I've got 4 SSG, 2 either side of it, 12-pound line, which I really needed in these lily pads to get them through, and a size 6 hook, and that's it. Just a lump of crust, about the size of 50p on the hook, and out it goes. Right, let's get out again. See if we can't get ourselves another one. So I mean the average size of fish in this lake is probably about what we just caught, actually, about sort of 10ish pounds, something like that. So they do go up to about, I think there's like a 30-pounder apparently, but we're not after a really big fish tonight. I can see a fish there moving over to the left hand side, so maybe they're starting to move. Right, well, let's get going. There we go. I think if I came back here, I might even bring my chest waders, because it's way too deep for my kind of snow boots, and it's certainly over welly height, but it's probably about like low thigh height. So I could probably, if I caught a fish, you know, get out beyond these lily pads and play it more in the open water. I think that'd give me a much better chance. Regardless, we've got that fish in, so we've got a really good chance of catching them here. Right, I think I'll stick it out. What time is it now? It's 20 to 8, so I've got another hour. I think if we've caught one here, and I've just seen a couple of little ripples, it's time just to sit it out really and see what happens. Well, I think I'm going to put some bread in actually, just to kind of keep any carp that might be here and maybe attract a few more in, and also give me something to kind of aim towards if we do start seeing fish showing. Again, alarm calling. Swallows all heading down the far end of the lake. There's probably a sparrowhawk just flicking over. They're not happy about something. I want to kind of keep my bread within casting range, so if fish do start showing, I can still get to them. And just spread them around a little bit. Okay, that'll do. The risk with this is that we get the coot to come and start feeding, so I don't want to make too much commotion. So I've seen, probably 4 or 5 times now, I've seen carp right in the middle, just boshing out, you know, totally surfacing and jumping out and then kind of, you know, wallowing back in again. And I suspect that's probably where they are, to be honest, right out in the middle. It's well beyond the casting range of what I've got. My little pellet waggler, I can only go about, I don't know, 4 or 5 rod lengths out, and that's about it. So I'm very much kind of fishing the margins with this style. I need a much bigger controller float to get out to them. But yeah, it still obviously shows it's worth trying though. There's still going to be fish cruising around elsewhere, not just, you know, out in the middle. So it's starting to kind of drop, the light level's dropping. Birds are all going to bed but making the right racket, which is wonderful. Yeah, we'll keep trying, I've just seen 1 or 2 fish just working the margins here of this reed bed. So if they come this way, we might be in luck. There. That is coming this way. I'm going to get a bit quiet now, I think. There it is. So we've definitely got a fish in the bay now. I've put, I don't know, half a dozen bits of bread out here, so it might find it. There it is. Gives you a bit of hope when you see the ripples. Oh, there's a fish right at the edge there, exactly where I was. Oh, classic. I think if I'd left my bread where it was, I might have got one then. It's really, oh, I can see it. There was 2 really close in. I'm going to do the GoPro. Right next to each other. Side by side. Just cruising underneath this willow to the right. They're not huge fish, but they're nice to see. I wonder if it's sort of erring towards breeding season. Oh, I shall definitely leave my float there for a bit. Lovely seeing the swallows back. It really is. It feels like they've really piled in the last week. It's a long time before we saw one. I saw 1, then I saw 2, and now I've seen, well, dozens this evening, and they seem to be joyous that they're back, flying around, spinning cartwheels around each other. It's great. Welcome back, boys. Oh, that's so nice. There's a great crested grebe here, just kind of swimming across the top of the lake there. That's the female. There must be the males feeding over to the left somewhere. She's all ruffled up and fluffed up, and when you're looking with the binoculars, sat right in the middle of her back, just poking out, there's a little chick having a ride on mum. It looks so snug. And great crested grebes, like they're chicks, they're very different to the adults. They're sort of almost like licorice, black and white striped birds, but it's a great way to travel. I think there's just one. There's the male, just popped up, doing head shaking, which is like a bonding thing. But he hasn't got any food for them. Keep trying. Right, well, that's me done. I'm back at the car. It's getting dark. It's time to kind of pack up and get back home. I hope you enjoyed that. I know I certainly did. Yeah, I feel incredibly lucky to have caught the fish that I did, having not really seen much activity on the top. Yeah, the only real activity I saw was when the fish kind of sucked the bread down and the line started pulling out. So it's amazing. It's a bit like a kind of, I don't know, a Chris Yates style fishing moment, really. Just such simple tackle. I mean, I brought 2 loaves of bread with me and I've only used kind of 2 slices really in total. I could have got away with just 1 slice really. So it's very cheap, very simple fishing, and I'm looking forward to doing more of it this summer. You know, I think now I've discovered this lake's good for that, and there's fish here, and it's worth kind of giving it a few more goes. What have I got planned coming up? Not a huge amount at the moment. It's sort of early May. I'm just starting to plan a trip to the River Wye, a 3-day trip when the season opens up in mid-June. So I'm looking forward to that. Fishing 3 different stretches, and stretches that I know reasonably well, so I'm kind of targeting barbel and chub. But between now and then, I'll probably do more of this sort of fishing. I'll be doing some carp fishing, maybe some more tench fishing as well, and just making the most of not being on the rivers and enjoying the lakes really as the summer starts to warm up. Whatever you're doing, I hope you're well. Good luck with your own fishing, and I'll see you in the next video.